Hey there! We are here. All right, thank you so much, first of all, for joining us on this wonderful Saturday evening. We hope to have a great show for you tonight. I'm Tridenttail, and with me is my best bud in the whole world, Sweener Dog.
Hello, everybody.
All right, so this is Diddy Kong Racing. It is a N64 racer. Came out in 1997. It was kind of novel when it first came out. It had the adventure mode. It was like open world concept. All these thematic worlds that you could explore. Boss races, mini games. Like it was really crazy. Like my first experience playing this game was like truly mind blowing. So yeah.
Yeah, this game has a lot to offer too in terms of speedrunning. It is an incredibly deep game, and I know a lot of people might be like, it's a racing game. Go around the track 3 times and win, right? Well, mechanically speaking, there's a lot going on. There is literally not going to be enough time on the clock for us to go over everything, but we're going to do our best to tell you a little bit about what this game has to offer on the mechanical level with the wonderful Nintendo 64 controller.
So without further ado, we got a bit of an intro cutscene, so we'll get into the run there. So how about a countdown in 5? We good to go? 5, 4, 3, 2, get ready, go. All right, so this is 100%. You're going to be seeing pretty much everything that this game has to offer, which is awesome. This is definitely my favorite category. It's a fan favorite for a lot of DKR speedrunning enthusiasts. We're going to be getting all 47 gold balloons, all 4 keys, the TT amulet, the Whizpig amulet, the keys. There's going to be so many things that we're going to collect, and you're probably wondering how we're going to do all of this in an hour and 15 minutes. Well, there just so happens to be some peculiar tricks that are gonna help us speed through this as fast as we can. So the first overworld section here is actually quite difficult, and I'm still working through a little bit of butterflies, so I'm gonna let Sweener kind of take over and explain what we're gonna be doing here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you guys played this as a kid, you might remember one of the coolest things about this game is that there's 3 different vehicles to pick from. There's car, hovercraft, and plane. And the first thing we're going to do is talk to Taj the elephant and change into plane. And you'll notice Trident's going to be doing a lot of these barrel rolls. He's going to be spinning a lot. TT's going to get really sick over the course of this run. And barrel rolling in the plane is actually the fastest way to move. So while we're getting these first 4 overworld balloons, we want to be barrel rolling as much as we can. So he's going to grab his 4th here, and that is a beautiful overworld.
We didn't bonk, which is what I was pretty much preparing for.
Okay, so track number 1. We're going to do it in car. So most of Dino Domain, the first world here, is going to be done in car. We're going to see one plane track, which has a pretty cool trick on it. But you're going to notice Trident is going to make this game look incredibly easy. In actuality, of course, there is so much going on with the controller. This game is a really weird combo of muscle memory and kind of like real-time reaction and mitigation. So a lot of this game is realizing that we are on the correct lines and we have enough speed to do certain things. And if we can recognize on a frame-by-frame basis that we're not, well, then we need to correct that. And wow, look at that. What was that all about? So this game features a controversial trick called the cutscene skip. Essentially, at the end of every race, you guys might remember, Taj flies down and hands you a lovely golden balloon, all shiny and beautiful. We don't want to see that cutscene happen, ever, or as little as possible. And we can avoid that cutscene by pausing the game on the last frame before crossing, or as we cross the finish line. So it's a frame perfect trick. You have 1 frame to do it. It can be buffered. You can unpause and repause the game to skip 1 frame forward. But it's not as simple as it sounds. There's a lot going on with this trick. We'll see another one of these attempted right now. And there it is. So we saw that 1 frame buffer. We saw Trident grab that key as well. We're going to need to collect all 4 keys in all 4 worlds. And we're going to need to complete the mini games as well to get the TT amulet. So that was the first key that we had to go and grab. Yes, so Tarzan in chat points out a very important thing about the cutscene skip. It is a frame perfect trick, and this game is far from perfect in terms of frame rate. There are some tracks where we have a buttery smooth 30 FPS for a good portion of the track. There's others where we're going to drop down to like 20-ish. And then there's times when there's way too much going on. We're listening to a lot of music, and the N64 just can't handle it. And we're going to be going down to like 15, 12 FPS, and we're going to need to pause on one of those frames. So with a ever-changing frame rate, going so fast all the time, and trying to pause on the perfect frame in there, it's really hard to tell when you need to press the start button. And more so, if you have to buffer that cutscene skip, pause and unpause, the time in which you need to press that button changes as well. So it's a really elusive trick. Trident is quite literally the best in the game at it. I'm not even going to mince words there. He's the most consistent player when it comes to cutscene skips, so we'll probably be in for a treat tonight as we watch him nail these. Yeah, there we go. Frame 1. Okay.
All right, so coming up we have the first plane track that we're going to see, and this one has a really important trick on it. I'll let Sweener elaborate here.
So, the plane is the most notorious vehicle in the game because not only is it the most difficult, but it's the most game-breaking. Wow, what just happened there? Well, we are now out of bounds on this wonderful Hot Top Volcano track, and we can actually complete the entire track from out of bounds. All we need to do is fly back and forth and hit the checkpoints on the track, and we can get a really fast time here. Don't be misled, however. This looks very, very easy, but doing this very fast with very few reference points on where TT the clock is at times can be very, very difficult. And slipping back inbounds when we want to be out of bounds loses a ton of time. So while it saves us a lot of time, it's also very high stakes.
All right, so we're 4 for 4 on the cutscene skips. Pretty nice. And we're coming into the first boss. This is Tricky the Triceratops. And this also has a nutty trick. We'll let it speak for itself, I guess, and then we'll try to explain what's happening here.
Yeah, I don't actually know what are you talking about? Boy, I don't think that's the right way.
We're just giving him a bit of a head start. It's all good.
Okay, that's reasonable. You've been going pretty fast this whole time, so
Yeah.
it's only... See, like,
I'm going the wrong way.
Yeah. That's not right. Let's... Wait a second. What in the world just happened there? Trident.
Alright, so let me see if I can explain this quickly. That was an example of a checkpoint manipulation glitch. In the corner there are 2 overlapping checkpoints, one of which corresponds to a checkpoint that occurs after the finish line. I need to drive through that area and leave this particular area with that checkpoint activated. If I do that, the wrong way pops up on the screen and it starts to count down checkpoints until I reach the checkpoint that corresponds with the finish line, ending the race.
That's
How'd I
pretty
do?
much about it. Yeah, I think the only thing I can add to that, Tricky Skip is it's a coin flip. That's usually what it's compared to. There's like something like a 50-50 chance that you will leave that area with the correct checkpoint value. So what you saw when he had to turn around again, they call that that second try Tricky Skip is essentially what just happened. it took him 2 tries to get the correct checkpoint. And you can get first try, you can get second try, third try, fourth try. It's a coin flip. Also, we're just trolling Crunch here. That is my favorite thing in this entire
Absolutely. This is a no crunch zone.
game. Just dropping his egg off the ledge. All right, so since we got those first 4 cutscene skips, well, we don't want to be watching this cutscene skip right now, but this is actually the only Taj cutscene in the game that we are required to watch. So no matter what, you are going to lose time to this cutscene. After we've watched this cutscene once, we can actually skip it, but you can't skip it the first time. So it can be a very big time loss.
And now we get into the coin races, which really offers some of the more interesting gameplay, and it's where a lot of strategy comes into play as far as like which coins you should grab on which lap. You start to pay attention to more to like where the CPUs are. So yeah, it's one of the reasons why I love 100% so much, because these coin races are actually really important, and it's where I've spent a good chunk of time really trying to like refine my times. These races are often kind of overlooked, I would say. Maybe that's not fair to say, but that's, I guess, just my own personal feeling. But these races are tremendously important to also do well. Ooh, cutscene skip.
Easy game. So yeah, I would totally agree. Silver coin races are very, very important, and I myself have skipped out on practicing them as much as Trident has, and it shows. We have to play these tracks in this game many, many times, especially Dino Domain, and we'll get into that later. But every track in the game is played at least 2 times, even the boss races. So maximizing your consistency and efficiency on every track in the game, no matter what the win condition is really, really important. And with having to collect 8 silver coins and get first place, yeah, Trident's on the right track there. I think it does get ignored because it's only something we have to do once per track across all of 100%.
All right, Fossil Canyon. We kind of breezed through this one the last time, but there's a pretty cool trick on this track. Sweener, do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Absolutely. So, for those of you who are familiar with Super Mario 64, you are aware of the canyonless glitch. Well, we kind of played on that a little bit here with a trick called canyonless, because it's Fossil Canyon. Okay. So, essentially what you're going to see Trident doing here on all 3 laps is drifting around the corner of the tunnel, grabbing the blue balloon, and then proceeding to execute a kind of a complicated mix of drifts after that to get to the other side of the tunnel and hit this zipper. He's then going to fling himself into the canyon, grab this other blue balloon, and have an 1856 lap, which is absolutely fantastic. Really, really strong lap there. So yeah, this is a great Fossil Canyon right now. This is also probably one of the most inconsistent tricks in the game. We do this trick all the time, but unfortunately, Diddy Kong Racing's geometry and its collision is not very kind to us a lot of the time. And Fossil Canyon has some really weird geometry, let me tell you. It'll fling you all over the place, your wheel will clip into the ground, and you'll get stuck, and you'll lose all your speed. We're watching Trident tear this game up, but it can actually be incredibly unforgiving at times.
Well, we've got lots of game left. Just wait. There will be lots of opportunities to just ruin this run.
So,
like
we're
right
seeing
here,
right now. Yeah, Hot Top Volcano. The silver coins are not out of bounds naturally, so we do have to do this first lap inbounds, and we want to get every single coin before we go out. Great.
I'm gonna try and do a strat here where I don't have to slow down. You need 7 bananas to do it, and it looks like I got it, so
yeah, this looks great.
Pretty good. Maybe a
in order
53.
to... Oh. Still a crazy time. Wow.
Not bad.
All right, we are 8 for 8 on cutscene skips, killing it. But oh no, we have to do tricky again.
Yeah. So as Sweener said, the first time it took me 2 tries. In the few practice runs I had leading up to this event, I've had terrible luck with tricky, losing a minute one run, minute 40 another run. I'm not even kidding. Just to this track alone. So just please let me get through this.
So yeah, we're gonna see him go behind the finish line again. It's right in this corner. There's 2 overlapping checkpoints. And every frame of the game, we're gonna swap between those checkpoints. And if we leave that zone on the right frame and we get the right checkpoint value, it'll tell us we're going the wrong way. And that's our magic marker for when we have achieved tricky skip.
Oh, Sweener.
Going on 4th try. So now we're seeing the biggest thing with 100% is getting out of Dino Domain. This is, especially for top level runners, probably the most painful part of the run. There we go, that's 5th. So 5th try. Still very okay for a marathon run, right? I wouldn't be upset with that personally, but you can't expect much more. Tricky has given us 2nd and 5th, and we'll go with that.
Yeah, so if you're wondering, each miss is roughly 8 to 9 seconds, and we had to do it 5 extra times. So that's like 40 seconds gone. No,
Bye.
No big deal. But
5 seconds.
It is what it is.
Taj is talking to us. So, there are 3 Taj challenges in the run, each for a vehicle, and it's a great time to talk about some of the vehicle mechanics for a little while. Actually, every vehicle in the game uses a method of going fast called A-tapping. In like every racing game, you just hold down a button to drive, right? In this game, however, due to the way the movement engine works, tapping the A button somewhere around 4 to 6 times a second is actually faster overall than holding down the A button. Car uses the A tapping the most. We're going to get a golden balloon here for finishing that race with Taj. Car uses the A tapping the most, and it's not an exact science at all. There's a lot of theory around the best ways to do something. Sometimes it seems to change per track what works the best, and only the best of the best players have a decent feel for how A-tapping should work. And even then, they can't really tell you how A-tapping works. This game is a lot of feeling. There's not a lot of ways to tell you how to play it. You just have to feel it out.
Yep. I honestly think I'm pretty awful at car. I haven't really figured out some of the finer details, but you know, I do good enough to get by. But still working on it.
Definitely. And Frosty Village here, this is actually one of my favorite car tracks in the game. It used to be one of my least favorite until I learned how to play it. Ooh, very rude.
You know what? It's not too bad though. Could have been much worse.
Yeah, that was okay. You'll notice as well here, there is no rubber banding in this game. In Mario Kart and some other racers, the AI will just always catch back up to you. They'll be behind you at all times, but they didn't put that in this game, and it's both a blessing and a curse, I think. Since we are completing laps so quickly, we have to run into the AI a lot, and sometimes they can really mess up your run. And unfortunately, we're seeing our very first missed cutscene skip, and nobody in the world is going to blame you for missing that one, because Frosty Village is actually the hardest cutscene skip in the game. Usually when we're crossing that finish line, we have like maybe 15 FPS. So trying to pause on the right frame there is really hard.
All right, so this is Snowball Valley, and this is where we get our second key. Kind of a neat little trick here. Gonna bang against that wall, use my boost, and just get out of there real quick.
You're so good at that. I can't. He makes it look really easy. I swear to you, because I play this game a lot too, and I can't do I can't do most of this stuff. It's very, very hard. A lot of practice and a lot of muscle memory. If he had gone in there at the wrong angle, he probably knows how to get out at the right angle. I also love this track.
There we go.
Beautiful cutscene skip. Great finish. We've got our second key, and you might notice something towards the end of this world here that seems weird, but we're going to get into that later.
Oh, you don't even know. You don't even know. This game has so many interesting things.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Back to plane, Everfrost Peak. So this is actually the first plane track that we are not going to be able to go out of bounds on. This is totally inbounds, and it's actually it's really skill-based track. There's a lot of speed here. There's a lot of zippers you got to hit, a lot of blue balloons to grab, and if you can grab all of them, you're going to be going real fast. That's good. It's good for us speedrunners. But there's one mistake. We're going to lose all our speed to hitting the ground. We're going to miss that ground zipper that we wanted to dive into. Time loss in plane is huge. If you lose speed in plane, it can take you a full 3 to 5 seconds to regain it. So one mistake like that on such a short track can be a big deal.
All right, don't shoot me, please. Okay.
Yay.
Tends to happen when the CPUs are in that spot.
Still a solid EP.
Yeah, all things considered. We didn't have a total, complete breakdown, just a minor misstep, but that's okay. Those things happen.
We're on to Walrus Cove. So this is the last track in the world we're going to be doing for the boss race. And this is an interesting track. I think it's very deceptively difficult. There's a lot of sharp turns here. The first half of the track is not hard, but this canyon he's going to go through right here, this is the hardest part of the entire track. There's so much geometry to mess up on here. And then this tiny little bridge we got to go across at the end. Again, tried it making it look very easy, but I'm probably biased. This track is like my nemesis.
A couple top runners, Sweener included, will use the balloon here to gap over that middle island there, but I don't really like that strat, so I go with a different one. But that strat is pretty gnarly.
It can be really cool. Yeah, going fast in this game looks super slick, but it's really dangerous, especially on this track, and a couple others. One tiny little mistake, one little mishap, and you're going to be hurting. You're going to be losing a lot of time. But really clean. Having some balloons stolen towards the end there, but...
Alrighty. So now, time for probably my favorite boss race in the game, maybe? Bluey? It's pretty good.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah.
I think he's my favorite boss design with his bow tie.
Now, I challenge you to a race.
I'm gonna go for a really stupid trick here. I haven't really gotten it lately, so I don't, hold your breath, but we'll go for it. All right, well, we got the first blue balloon. That's a good sign.
There's something pretty interesting about this this race and the tricky race.
Oh, we're looking good.
Look, we're out of bounds. Wow.
Oh, no.
That is such an awesome trick to show off in runs.
And ruined by the tree. That's okay.
Dang tree. So we actually cut that entire corner really, really quickly there. You just jump all the way over the mountain. But yeah, Tricky and Bluey both use this start to finish one lap racing thing, and it actually kind of abandoned that later in the game. All the rest of the bosses are going to be 3 laps, so kind of an interesting change in design. But wait a second, you reset the console.
Wait, was I supposed to do the coins?
We'll do it later.
Okay. Routing on the fly.
Yeah.
Abracadabra.
All right. Rip my thumb.
The hovercraft. This game, this vehicle, has almost made this game for me. I love the hovercraft and I absolutely hate it at the same time. People laugh when we say that this is the most physically intense vehicle in the game, but you'll notice we're doing this left and right method. Left, right, left, right. This is called snaking, and it is the fastest method of traveling. So we are constantly going left and right on the joystick. Left, right, left, right. While we're tapping the A button, we're also pushing up on the joystick. As he's driving here, he's going to be holding down the R button at the same time. So you're already setting up your hand in this very tense, precise way, and you need to do this for 1 minute and 15 seconds straight, which is a lot worse than it sounds.
This is where you really start to feel it, right at this point
Yes.
here.
Oh, I agree so much. Your thumb will go numb faster than you think trying to do this as fast as possible. But hover is also my favorite vehicle in the game. I think for most beginner runners, it is probably the least favorite. It's really tricky to get your head around how it moves and why it moves the way it does. But I would say, and Trident, you might agree, I'm not sure, but at the top level, it's the most forgiving vehicle in the game.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. Yeah.
So as we start Sherbert Island, we're going to see more hover in a little bit here, but we're going to do Treasure Caves first. And this is a controversial track, I think, still. It's very, very fast. It's a very fun track, but this blue balloon at the top of the hill here, this blue balloon's a big problem. Finding the right spot to use this balloon in has been really hard. There's actually been like 3 or 4 different spots that people have used it in during speedruns over the years. But currently we are using it in the middle of the tunnel to line up this, essentially it's a triple zipper almost with the use of the blue balloon.
I missed it twice.
Still not too bad, time-wise, but the potential there for hitting that zipper 3 laps in a row is, the speed potential there is really high. Okay, sorry, I'm going to talk about my favorite track here.
This track is so good. Go for it.
So this is the pinnacle of hover, in my opinion. This is such a good track. Pirate Lagoon, there is lots of really sharp turns, and the hovercraft can just motor through those turns. You can hit the B button to really, really sharply turn, and you can actually push backwards on the stick to make yourself stop and turn around faster. On top of that, there's tons of blue balloons, there's tons of zippers, and you can just send yourself down the track. I think it's the best showcase for hover. There's only 3 hover tracks in the game, but they're all really, really good, and this one happens to be my favorite. So you're not actually seeing a lot of that snaking method on this track. It's all speed here. Fantastic cutscene skip.
Did I do you proud?
You did.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Sweener's really, really good at Pirate Lagoon.
I just love it. It's just my favorite. Talk about it all day. But we got to talk about this one, because this is a weird one. This track has no blue balloons on it, which makes me very sad, because I love blue balloons. It also has a key on it, and the key is in a really interesting spot.
All right, so...
Oh, go ahead.
Go for it. I was just going to say I'm looking for a 23 here. And just barely get it.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know if you did it on 2 or 3, but the key is way out here. I don't know who put it there. I don't know why. We're actually going to do a little wall grind there. You could just swim back normally, but if you grind up against the wall, it's actually faster. It's a really weird little time save that was found somewhat recently, I think.
I think it's been known for a while, but I think it was like a best kept secret.
That probably is true.
Someone hoarding strats, I think, but we don't have to get into that.
Oh, it's a good half-second time save.
All right, Crunch is in my way.
Get out of here.
Okay.
All right, good buffer. So there's our third key. I can't wait to do that mini game in a little bit here.
We'll see. Yeah. It could either be amazing or I might cry. We'll see.
All right, Whale Bay. This is another really great cover track. The music here just slaps. So good. So bananas. We are actually not going to take that turn very sharply because we want to go out there and grab some bananas. Bananas are very, very important in this game. I think they do an incredible amount of work and no one sees it. They're kind of the unsung hero. You will see everybody collect them. They'll always have around 10. And it's hard to talk about why they're so important. I can't remember the exact percentage, Trident, but essentially
2.5.
2.5.
Yeah.
Each banana is going to increase your top speed and your acceleration by 2.5%, up to a maximum of 10. So on every track, we want to find at least 10 bananas if we can manage it. Anything over 10 doesn't matter. And that's going to allow us to go as fast as possible. And I think visually it's very hard to tell how much work they're doing, but they do a lot, especially in plane. 10 bananas in plane makes a really big difference.
Mm-hmm. I'll watch newer players. Maybe they're unlocking TT for the first time, and some like really struggle because they do not place enough importance on the bananas. As soon as someone tells them, like, try to prioritize getting bananas, then they have a much easier time like getting those times. So yeah, it just goes to show you like how like overlooked they can be, but it really does make a huge difference.
Definitely. We're also seeing one of the other mechanics in this game we haven't really mentioned yet, but again, if people play this in their childhood, they'll probably remember this. Stacking these balloons will actually power them up. So 1 balloon is a short boost, 2 balloons is a long boost, and 3 balloons is a very long boost. And I'm trying to be specific about that because they are not faster than each other. They're actually all going to bring you to about the same top speed, but that boost lasts for longer. So you're going to be going that speed for a longer amount of time.
Yeah, we typically don't stack balloons because even though the stacked ones are longer, you typically get more boost time with the 3 single balloons if you were to stack them, if that makes sense. The reason why we stack them in hover or on bubbler for that matter is because boosting in hover can kind of be weird, and getting that sweet spot. This is really hard to explain and play at the same time. I just realized.
Plane challenge.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so, ooh, tricky stuff here.
All right, I want out of this right now. Yo, shout out to that tree, super based. I thought I was hitting that tree. I don't even know what I was talking about. Something about
Hover,
boosting and
boosts.
hover. It's really weird to hit the sweet spot after boosting. So we just, I'm gonna go around the tree. Hey. we just stack the balloons so that you don't have to hit the sweet spot like over and over again. You can just hit it once, and this is going to be still a sub 1, surprisingly.
That's solid though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, bye-bye for now.
Yeah, plane challenge is really hard because there's no zippers, there's no boost or anything. You just have to rely on knowing your barrel roll spacing, because we are actually moving like left to right or right to left when we barrel roll. You are moving horizontally, so to speak. So knowing how much space you have to not only fit a barrel roll in distance wise, but also fit a barrel roll in horizontally side to side. It's really important, and it's actually really hard to tell. I don't know how to describe it exactly. It's just feeling. It's like most of this game.
So I totally forgot. I didn't even do Dino Trophy.
Oh, yeah, you should probably do that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we've seen these tracks before. They're kind of cool. We're gonna do them again. I'm gonna mash like a madman here.
Ooh, yes, this is new tech, everybody. New tech found very recently. For years now, we have been just mashing the A button through the trophy status screen that shows like the points and the scoring and what place you got. We don't really care about any of that, so we just smash A as hard as we can. Turns out, mashing A and start, both buttons, can progress the screens. So if you mash both of them, it can save like a third of a second, depending on how fast of a masher you are. So we're going to do that 5 times? Yeah, 5 times throughout this run. So it can actually save quite a bit of time between all the races. I'm sorry, we're going to do 5 trophies in this run. We're going to do that like 20 times. This is a very nice Fossil Canyon.
Yeah, it's decent, eh? Famous last words.
Nah,
never mind.
Oh, it's beautiful, yep. Good old sub 1 Fossil Canyon. Can't even be mad about that. It's just too good. Jungle Falls, this is probably like the best showcase for car. You can notice here, Trident is prioritizing bananas. We're already at 8, 9, maybe 10 on this hill. Oh, we're going to take it a little wide. Okay, yep.
Oops.
Still, no bonks on lap 1. But now we have 10 bananas to do the rest of the laps with, and those laps are going to be super fast as a result.
I'm going to pop this shield here because look at all these CPUs in my way.
Yeah, get out of here.
They typically will pop their shields, or they might have a rocket and they might shoot you, so... because I had a bit of a slower first lap there, I knew I was going to get bad CPU position, so... I got the shield, I used it.
We're going to see that out of bounds here again. Mm-hmm. Oh, doing it a little early here.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, dang. Couldn't quite get through that lava there. So I think we're going to... Yeah, we can actually just turn around and grab this balloon.
Hello?
Hello?
Please. 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 Alrighty. Well.
Another pass.
This is where it goes downhill, folks.
Oh, that was slick. Okay, now we're out of bounds.
Alright. Oh. I wasn't going the right way.
Oh, I think you voided out.
Wait.
Whoa, wait a minute. What's going on here?
This bit doesn't get old.
It really does. It's funny to me every time. Well, enter stage left, trophy storage. We are going to watch Trident execute.
Don't build this up.
Okay, I won't build this up. Why did we... What? We didn't finish the Dino Trophy. What was that all about? Well, trophy storage is kind of the key to breaking 100% wide open. It is what saves us so much time in this game. Essentially, we are technically still in the trophy race right now. The game still thinks that we are completing the Hot Top Volcano track. But we're actually completing a mini game right now. So that's really weird. How does that work? Well, the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to finish this mini game. And finishing this mini game is going to give us a piece of the TT amulet. Then we're going to do something really weird that is actually going to give us the trophy for Sherbert Island. Not for Dino Domain, for Sherbert Island. The reason this saves so much time is because the Dino Domain trophy race is the shortest in the game. It's like, what, 3.5 minutes long? Something like that?
It's very short, yeah. Oh, I need to go back in. What am I doing?
So yeah, we're going to re-enter the minigame here. And we're actually going to lose the minigame. We're going to take last place. And you'll see, right here as we lose, you're going to see that trophy status screen that I mentioned earlier as proof that the game still thinks we're in the trophy race. Here it comes. There it is. And oh look, we got a trophy. And it looks like it's in Dino Domain, but it's not. I promise. It's in Sherbet Island.
I won't prove it to you, but
It's gonna waste a lot of
believe
time.
me. Yeah, just believe me, it's there. And we didn't finish the coin races, and we're here, so we might as well, take the opportunity to finish the coin races, right?
Absolutely. So this is why we didn't do the mini games in Snowflake Mountain or Sherbet Island before. This is why we didn't do the coin races. We were going to be coming back here no matter what, because getting the trophy the way we got it is a lot faster. There's an added element to the wrong warp in Hot Top Volcano that allows us to leave the race and stay in the trophy race. And unfortunately, that element is luck. There are 3 different locations that you can wrong warp to as you leave Hot Top Volcano. You can spawn in the Dragon Forest lobby in the car, which is what we just experienced. It just happened to us. We can spawn in the overworld up by Taj the Elephant, and that'll actually spawn us in whatever vehicle we were previously in. In this case, it would have been the plane. And last but not least, certainly not least, is the final piece of luck, as known as Dragon Plane. We'll spawn in Dragon Forest again, but the game, for whatever reason, will put us in the plane, and that actually has a very, very big effect on the game. So we might see that in this run. It is totally luck-based. We'll see if it happens. Yeah, yes. Thank you. Pigs in chat also mentioned that the wrong warp is version specific. We are playing on the Japanese version of the game, which is 1.0. If you buy a Japanese version of the game, they're all 1.0, which is really nice. The game's also dirt cheap on eBay. It can be like $5 to $10. So very, very low barrier to play the game, which is very nice. And all the tricks in the game that we use are specific to the Japanese 1.0 card. Very convenient.
It also has faster text.
Yeah. Back to Crescent Island.
They can't
here.
all be gems, folks.
So yeah, Crescent Island here is going to make us do all kinds of wacky stuff. We're going to go up to the top of the boat to grab all these coins. We do not have any blue balloons. I have to mention that again because it's the saddest thing. Blue balloons are one of the things that make this game totally crazy. So, but that also, it can make this track very, very consistent at the same time. So this is for me, I don't know about you, Trident, but for me, this is oftentimes a pretty low-key track.
It's like one of those like mindless ones where you kind of just like sit back and let muscle memory take over.
Mm-hmm.
That zipper right there is the only weird one because of the bump right in front of it. If all your wheels aren't touching the ground before you go over that, then you just like skip right over it, which is kind of annoying. But I mean, other than that,
Pretty low-key.
pretty low key. I'm like totally on
Yeah.
autopilot right now. I don't even remember getting all those coins.
That should tell you it all right
Jeez.
there. You can play this game and totally space out after a while. It's really strange. There's not a lot of I don't know how to say it correctly. I feel like a lot of other games have a lot of, you need to remember where you are and where you're going. There's a lot of that in Hundo, but while you're actually racing, it's just kind of autopilot. We've done these tracks so many times at this point that it doesn't require a lot of cognitive effort.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, it's still hard. But there's definitely some tracks where it's just kind of like... Definitely takes up less brain bandwidth and... Okay.
Yeah,
That
unless
mine.
that happens.
Alright, I need to get this last coin, otherwise... Okay, please?
Oh noes.
Well, maybe we can get the cutscene skip?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Whale Bay is another notorious cutscene skip. Going across that finish line really fast, there's a ton of lag there. That one can be very easy to miss. So slowing down there actually helped us out a little bit.
And now we're back to Bubbler. Significantly less fun this time around because they nerfed one of the blue balloons, so can't go as fast.
Not as bad as Blue 2.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll see that one coming up in a bit.
Look what they did to my boy. Yep, there's the alcohol in chat. Bubbler's favorite thing to yell while he goes fast.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only 2, frowny face. But it's alright. Still a pretty quick track. Getting hit by his bubble. Last time he laid mines, but this time he's laying bubbles, and bubbles are actually deadly in this game. They can really mess you up. There's a few locations in the game where they are most common. Fossil Canyon's one of them, and it's in the canyon when it happens. So while you're flying through the canyon, suddenly you get trapped inside of some soapy suds, and oh, it's a sad time. Now we're out, and the quick reset. So the reason we actually reset is there's a cutscene that plays where the boss talks to us. I know Bubbler says something like, "Nice job, Shrimp." We don't actually need to watch that. As soon as we cross the finish line, the game is saved that we have beaten that boss. So we go and reset, and we're gonna return to the overworld, which we want to do anyway. And this is a quiz chat. Why would we want to go back to the overworld?
It's not for another Taj challenge because we're finished all of them.
Yeah, we did car, we did hover, we did plane. Well, it might become very obvious in about 4 seconds here.
Yeah, we didn't finish Dino Trophy.
Oh yeah, yeah, we got to go back and do Dino Trophy. Forgot.
Yeah. See, look,
No Dino Trophy.
no Dino Trophy.
It's not there. Alas, it may be a ruse. That's right. We have to return to Snowflake Mountain. And we have to get that trophy and do all those coin races and do that minigame. So, why not just come back to Dino Domain, do trophy storage again, and go get that trophy? Which is exactly what we're going to do. Easy peasy. These are often the most chill parts of the 100% run. Hundo is really tiring. Trident has Iron Will, in my opinion. This is it's a pretty lengthy and it's a very intense category. There's like almost no downtime, and you need to be doing cutscene skips. You need to remember the route. Lots going on. So having these Dino trophies in the middle of all that, where you can kind of just sit back and play these tracks that we've played so many times. There's no silver coins. There's no cutscene skip at the end. You just finish the race. Feels great.
Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty in this run. I think we mentioned it a little bit, but like with the warp RNG, like the route can kind of change like on the fly, and I missed a balloon there. That's okay. But yeah, like as Sweener said, you get to Dino Trophy, and no matter how the run is going, for the next 4 minutes, you know exactly what you're supposed to do, and you can just kind of like turn that part of your brain processing off.
Yep.
So it's not like a sit back and kind of just like passive gaming for a bit. You still have to like concentrate, but there's like one element of the run that you're not thinking about, because it's clear what you have to do for the next 4 minutes. And the more I'm talking, the more I am making mistakes. Sweener, help me, please.
Yeah, gladly. So we'll see what kind of wrong warp RNG we get this time around. As soon as we're done with Jungle Falls, we'll go back to Hot Tub Volcano. We're going to do the wrong warp again. Based on what we get, our route is actually going to change on the fly. So the moment we fade back in and see what we got, we need to know exactly where to go after that, which can take a lot of practice. There's all kinds of guides and flowcharts and helpers out there to help you learn the route and know where to go when certain things happen. The RNG we got for Sherbert Island is actually the default route. It's the most standard way to play the game, essentially. So we'll see what we get here. Okay. Dragon Car again. So generally speaking, and this is very generally speaking, there is a 75% chance that we are going to get Dragon Car. It's the least exciting, especially when you consider the fact that the other two things that can happen are both around 12.5% chances. Had we gotten the overworld option, we wouldn't have had to go down the tunnel and fly all the way out. Also, we got to talk about this. Icicle Pyramid. This is an awesome mini game. Everyone remembers this. It's probably everyone's favorite childhood battle mini game, and we can actually cheese the heck out of it. We're just gonna sit in this corner and shoot down these CPUs all day long.
Please be behind me. Nope. Okay. Well, I got bad RNG somehow.
So this is the downside with this one. If we had gotten the right luck here, the CPUs would have followed us, all three of them, to the top of the pyramid. And we would just be able to sit there and pelt them with missiles the whole time and win the minigame super fast. Unfortunately, that is not what happened this time. We had to go down here and take care of Conquer really quick. But he is dead now, so we can move on. But the same thing is going to happen here. We're going to get our TT Amulet. The game prioritizes the TT Amulet over trophies, so it's going to give us that first. But we're still in the trophy race. So we can actually hop back in, lose the minigame real quick, and take 4th place, and get our trophy. I've always wanted to hyper-optimize this process of just bombing yourself and get the best setup and time possible.
This one's pretty good.
Useless. That was good.
All right, so again, we're back in Snowflake. We haven't done the coin races, so that's what we got to do next. The one that's coming up right now is one of the scariest, I would say.
And I would agree with that.
Yeah, it's really hard, and there's a jump right at the very beginning that can be quite unpredictable. So we'll see. Yeah. So I had a little bit of interference with the CPUs there, making it difficult to get my line, but we'll just have to go back and... Oh, hello. That was insane.
What a jump. Yeah. That's a great example. Sometimes things can happen that just fling you, and suddenly you have more speed than you've ever had in your DKR career. And you have 3 frames to figure out what to do with it. It's really exciting, and it's what makes the game so fun and so addicting. But it also can be really shocking, and it can cause a lot of mistakes. In that case, it didn't, luckily, but So yeah, this silver coin race, it's one of my favorites in the game, but doing this consistently and effectively is really, really tricky. So yeah, we're going to take our time on the hill there to make sure we can grab that, because turning around would be much, much slower. We've got one more coin to grab.
Oh,
Tip Top's going
please.
to really mess with us. There we go.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, so CPU is getting in the way.
this is kind of what happens when you get off script here. Now you have to kind of play around with the CPUs, and like, it can get really annoying.
Oh yeah, super frustrating.
Yeah.
It's tricky too, because the CPUs do have their own stats. Crunch is like a heavy, and he seems to be one of the CPUs that gets in the way the most often. So hitting him is actually really bad, because he's not going to move anywhere. He's not going to do anything. You're just going to slam into him, and he's going to stop all your momentum. Or worse, if he slams into you, he has the opportunity to just send you somewhere else on the track. Other guys like Pipsy or Tip Top, they oftentimes get flung all over the place, which is actually hilarious. There's some great clips out there of Pipsy and Tip Top just having a real bad day on the court of us.
Like, see what I mean?
That's exactly it right there. Very good example. Still doing great on the cutscene skips.
Yeah. We've only missed one, which is at this point in the run is really, really good.
So yeah, actually, we're in what I would call the mid game right now. The early game was essentially the setting up of the trophy storage marathon, and we're in the middle of that trophy storage marathon right now. It's this mid game. It's this is probably one of the hardest portions of the run, is Snowflake Mountain. These coin races are really, really tricky. They really put these coins in. Like, Everfrost Peak isn't too bad, but Frosty Village is pretty tricky, and Snowball Valley is also just, there's so many different pathways you can take that'll put you in really bad positions.
Oh, not again, please.
Gotta love that ground zipper.
Alright, I have another coin here that I need to get. Missed it twice now. There we go.
Yay.
Okay.
Easy pickings. Back to Walrus Cove. Yeah, Everfrost Peak is a very technical track. Plane tracks in general, if you're watching newer players versus more experienced players, plane tracks are where the largest time discrepancy is by far. And it's not even close. It's like 20 seconds of difference. There's so much time that can be saved by learning the intricacies of plane. And the same goes for the other vehicles, but I think plane specifically, learning how to control it properly and having to manage the y-axis of up and down adds a lot to what you have to be thinking about. What would be the hardest overall world from the 4 we have seen so far? That's a tough question.
You're gonna get a different answer depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
Because everybody has like their specialties, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, I would say like Future Funland is an easy pick. It's not so much that the tracks in that world are any harder than the other worlds. But in the context of a 100% run, you've been playing for an hour and a half. Your mind has been on go for the whole time pretty much. And a lot of those tracks are quite technical. And you just like, sometimes you just don't even have like the brain power left to execute it properly. So
And it's
I would say
so
Future
cool.
Funland.
Future Fun for 100%. Yeah, Future Funland by far. It's almost cruel. By the time you get to Future Funland, we're going to be using cutscene skips in a slightly different way. Since you only have one boss race in Future Funland, that is the final Whiz Pig race against the final boss. If you get the cutscene skip and instead of returning to the lobby to go to your next track, if you restart the race, you can actually immediately start the silver coin race. So we'll see that later in the run, and we'll talk about that more when we get there. But that is a very exciting part of the run, and also a excruciating. Oh, look at that jump! Oh, that's my favorite thing in the world.
That's pretty good.
That is
I usually
so
don't
good.
get I usually don't get stopped like that too great. So
Based Snowball Friend.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd say for me personally, I think Snowflake Mountain is my toughest world. There's a lot of weird geometry that just cannot be tamed, even if you play it over and over and over again. Every run is different in Snowflake Mountain, I think.
All right, so this is where, in my personal opinion, this is where the run really gets good.
I would agree.
We do have to do 2 Dino trophies back to back, and I'm sure you probably understand why at this point. But after that, I think this is the funnest part of the run. There is going to be a lot of really cool tricks, a lot of really cool strategies and tech and all sorts of good stuff that's coming up in Dragon Forest. So, yeah. So look forward to that in about 8 minutes or so. But in the meantime, we got to do these tracks again.
Yeah, this is a good snack grabbing time. So go ahead and get yourself something to snack on, because the popcorn eating part of the run is coming up next.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to do 2 Dino Domain trophies here. We've seen these tracks a lot already. The first one is actually going to be completing the Dino trophy. This is
We're not trolling this time.
Yeah, we're not kidding this time. We actually do have to complete it at some point. And the second time we do it, we are going to go to our 4th world, which will be Dragon Forest. And it's one of my personal favorites. I think the tracks there are a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to it. Beautiful canyonless.
Not bad. 21.5 is pretty good, especially with the music on. We haven't really talked about it, but when I'm going for attempts, I have started to turn off the music for some of these longer sections that go a little while without console resets. And that's because when you turn the music off, you do tend to cut down a little bit of the lag that you're seeing. And for this game in particular, your speed is actually heavily tied to frame rate. So yeah, it's not a guarantee that you'll save time, but I feel like there's more consistency and yeah, it's a nice quality of life kind of thing. I know it sucks to turn off this great soundtrack, and I spared you this evening, but it is really nice when you feel like the game is reacting a little bit more consistently.
Yeah, it's a big deal. In Hundo, it's really only, I think, worth it to turn music off when you're at a slightly higher level. But in like all trophy races, another category we have, which is very short. It's only a little over 20 minutes long. That run on many levels is typically done with the music completely off, because such a short run, the amount of time you actually save for the music can matter a lot, and having lag be reduced by so much is a big deal. And it's really tricky too. Like lag in this game is so confusing. It's really hard to understand when lag is good and when lag is bad. You'll see that a lot in time trials. There are a couple time trial tracks where the music is actually left on intentionally to cause more lag, which is really weird. More lag is better in those cases. And then there's other tracks where we do everything we can to reduce lag. So it's its own little science project that nobody truly has a grasp on yet. But maybe one day we'll have a full understanding of how it works and why it works the way it does.
So we're gonna do this again. Surprise.
Except this time we're going to say sayonara to Dino for the time being.
Yeah, we will get a nice break from Dino for a bit. What else is there to talk about?
God. It's funny because this is the point of the run where I have the same thought and then I'm like, oh my god, wait. There really is a lot to say, and it's tricky though because a lot of it's kind of nebulous. It's not like, oh, this is what he's doing on this turn to go fast or whatever. It's like, well, he's tapping A, he's getting bananas. I think it's worth mentioning that this game is incredibly friendly to newer speedrunners. If you love this game and you've never speedrun before, I literally could not recommend a better game to pick up to try. This was my favorite game growing up. And still is, naturally. And I was actually afraid to try speedrunning it because I was afraid that it would ruin the game for me. So far from the truth. Absolutely. I have spent thousands of hours on this game since starting to speedrun it because it's worth your time. The skill ceiling is essentially limitless. There is no person who has completely, perfectly mastered the game yet. We have had somebody beat a task. That has happened in this game, in time trials. Shout outs to Mr. Ponytail. But yeah, it's just very low barrier to entry, super cheap game to pick up, very easy to get working on your N64, and you can never stop getting better at it. Always room to improve, always things you can get better at, as long as you're willing to put in the time and learn from your friends in the community. Ah, the paw print.
Not based.
You'll notice a lot of these tracks in car, we are actually manipulating the geometry to help us go faster. If you go airborne while you're going fast, you'll actually preserve a lot of that speed while you're in the air. So when we go on that little pond piece right there, so we do that little pond jump, that is a really good example. Same right here. Right before that bridge, we go airborne for a second, right here. So that time while we're airborne, we're actually preserving all of our speed. And there's a couple different ways to make sure you're actually hitting that geometry correctly to fling yourself. But you'll see that all over the place in this game. Lots of very tiny little corner-to-corner methods we use to preserve speed. Let's see what happens. Oh my god!
All right. Well,
Ladies and
this is
gentlemen.
this is nice.
This is wonderful. Dragon Plane.
Excellent.
12.5% chance, baby. Let's go. So, what the heck just happened? We're not supposed to be in the plane in this little overworld area. But if we are, we can just fly out of bounds and go right to the boss race right now. That's what we're doing. So we're gonna go fight. We're gonna go fly against Smokey the Dragon. Oofda.
I usually do this with music off, and it's very difficult to
I
adjust.
actually had the same thought. That tunnel's gonna be a lot laggier.
That's okay, we're out. That was a clean clip, too.
That was beautiful. So yes, okay, so Smokey the Dragon out of bounds. This is still a relatively new out of bounds clip, but this was actually one of the biggest time saves recently found. Trident's really good at it, so we get a little bit of a clinic here. But we're completing Smokey now. And this is going to unlock a very special property of the game that can only be unlocked when you have not done any of the races in the world yet, but you have beaten the first boss. And it's very relevant to the end of the run as well, so it should be very interesting. Now, you'll notice Trident is not going to reset right now. We're actually going to stay in Dragon Forest because we want to be here. So Smokey's going to have a convo with us.
Excellent.
And this cutscene is actually not too bad. After the earlier boss races, Taj usually gives you a tip, which like takes up a little bit more time, so it's a little bit more beneficial to reset because you want to go to the overworld and there's an additional cutscene. But here we just have to listen to Smokey talk for a bit and then we're on our way.
Haunted Woods.
Yep, no big deal.
Now, I should probably also mention, we are still in the trophy race. Winning the Smokey race doesn't count as a trophy race. Okay, I should have drifted, but it's okay. But just like winning the minigame, that cutscene takes precedence over... Sorry, trying to play. It takes precedence over the trophy race.
Right.
And
So, yeah.
you're probably wondering why we're not doing the minigame to get the trophy, and that's going to become quite apparent in a little bit. And also, that zipper sucks. All right,
Yeah,
well,
so we're actually going to do Haunted Woods 3 times in a row here.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. It's one of the tracks that I still continue to struggle with, but...
Yeah, so Trident drifting over that zipper there, literally like visually touching it, but not getting the speed boost. That jankiness happens all the time in this game. It is super, super common. And on to Bulge Canyon.
The canyon.
This is one of the tracks where I really wish that the music was off, but it's not, so we're gonna try to deal with it, I guess.
Yeah, this track is cracked. With the
Like,
music
just
off.
wait until the third lap when we start to see all the CPUs. Like, you're gonna really see this frame rate tank. Also, I would really like to have all the bananas, please.
No banana for you.
No. Calling a 110? Oof, okay.
Calling
Yeah.
a 110.
I mean, I have to
music.
pick up the key, too, so...
Yeah, don't forget the key. It's kind of important. Oh, that was
That was insane. I don't
Yeah.
think I could have turned any sharper than that, and I would have ate the corner there. But... All right, here we go.
Oh. 12 FPS. 12 FPS.
Oh God.
It's really hard to make out like on the stream because it's kind of interpolated a little bit probably. But if you're looking at this on the TV screen, it's like it's crazy. Gotta grab our
As if-
key. There we go. Okay, that one's scary. The key hitbox makes absolutely no sense. Crunch once again. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a no crunch zone. Crunch is not allowed here.
Oof. All right. So that thing that Smear was talking about in Future Funland, well, we get to show it to you early thanks to Dragonplane.
Yeah. So we have beaten Smokey the Dragon already. And since there is no first boss to race, the next time we are supposed to be allowed on this track is for the silver coin race. So when we do the cutscene skip, if instead of returning to the lobby, we restart the race, we can actually do the silver coin race right now. This saves quite a bit of time, if I'm not mistaken, both in Future Funland and especially in Dragon Forest, because we are totally removing the need to drive from track to track. We can just do this right now. If we were unable to beat Smokey right away upon getting to this world, we have to, complete this track and then come back to it later. But by doing it this way, we remove all the drive time, all the travel times out of the way, and we can just do it right now, which is super convenient for us.
That balloon,
What's tricky though is that this is potential time save. It's not pure time save. If we miss the cutscene skip, we're going to be sent back to the lobby, and we're going to have to turn around and drive back into the track to do the silver coin race, which is kind of awkward. And that's not faster. That is saving no time. So we got our key. Trident showed off this new cutscene skip tech. We did the silver coin race. We are totally done with Bulge Canyon. Good stuff.
Just adding on to what Sweener said, the funny thing is that if I were to miss these 4 special cutscene skips, we call them restarts, because you're just restarting the race. If I were to miss all 4, I would actually lose time having Dragon Plane then saving time.
Yeah,
so you do need to hit the cutscene skips.
It's a really hype thing to have happen to get Dragon Plane, because it opens up so much potential for the run to suddenly, be like really, really good. I mean, again, it's not common that we get Dragon Plane in runs. It's a really low % thing. But when it does, it opens the door for potential time save, and it can make the run really, really exciting. It's one of the coolest parts of the run, for sure, is getting Dragon Plane, and it's really exciting that we get to show it off in a marathon.
I just can't do this track.
It's a rough one.
Okay.
There it is again.
This is why it helps to be good at cutscene skips.
They're really important. There's 40 of these babies in the game, and they, I think, in total save about 4 minutes over the course of the game, man. It is a big, big deal. Yeah, we're on to the other side of the pond. I love that.
So if you're wondering, no one has ever gotten 40 out of 40 cutscene skips. It's never been done. 2 people have gotten 39 out of 40. I'm one of them, and I've done it maybe about 10 times. One day, I'll get it.
Not a soul. No one has ever done 40 out of 40. Everybody has always lost time to cutscene skips. It's really crazy to think about. Try it. If anyone's going to do it, it's Trident. I think my personal PB is 38, and I was so proud of that, man.
38 is insane. It really is. Think about it. 38 frame perfect tricks.
Yeah. All right, Smoky Castle. This is a really hard minigame to lose. I don't know how long exactly it takes for the CPU to deliver these bananas to their own little fortress, to their chest, but it takes a long time. There is a meme category that I don't know if anyone has actually run called Lose All Minigames. And the first 3 minigames, it's actually pretty easy to lose those. You either run into mines or deliver eggs to your friends. But in Smoky Castle's case, not so easy. It's just pure waste of time. So in this case, doing Haunted Woods is much, much faster than coming in here and trying to lose this minigame to get the trophy for Dragon Forest. And there we go. First place, we won. And that is all 4 minigames.
Yep. So the TT amulet is complete. We've got all 4 keys at this point. 4 trophies. So we're like well on our way. And now we're getting to a nerve-wracking part of the run for some. My favorite part of the run, personally. This is Windmill Plains.
Enter Windmill Plains. Probably this is a very infamous track for sure. It has one of the more difficult out of bounds tricks in the game. Oh, that was beautiful. You're going for the 9. Look at that. That was so smooth.
The dream.
The dream. So essentially what we're going to do here is we're going to fly under the windmill and right over this hill. Hello. And we're out of bounds. Easy peasy, right? Well, actually, the out of bounds navigation on this track is really tight. If you go too low, you will be warped back to the finish line, and you'll be set up at the beginning of the lap. So that means you lost all the progress of the lap. If you were to void out right now, he'd have to do the whole lap over again, essentially, for starters. On top of this, going back in bounds is really easy to do because all the walls are very close together. Touching that water plane right there will send you right back up to the surface. It's a really dangerous track, so doing what Trident just did here is actually insanely difficult. And we got a cutscene skip. We got the restart. Ooh, I love that. So this is actually it's pretty tricky to pull this off, but we're going to go out really wide here. We're going to grab both this blue balloon and that coin in the middle, and we're going to go out of bounds early. It's a little bit faster to instead, like we did in Hot Top Volcano, we did the entire first lap in bounds so we could get all the coins, but we're actually going to go out of bounds right now and then come back in bounds later in the race to grab the last couple. And that's going to save us a bit of time.
Yeah, we do this to essentially maximize the time spent out of bounds, because the more time spent out of bounds, the more we're able to cut corners and all that stuff. So, yeah. You can certainly get all the coins on the first lap, and many runners do. But if you want to try and shave off a few more seconds, you can try this route out. So we're going to go back in here and then pick up the rest of these coins. Oh, you got to be kidding me. That wall is weird.
Such a cruel little push out to the side. It wasn't even a bonk. What a tease. What a tease.
Go for it.
But we're going to finish up pretty clean overall here. These cutscene skips ain't nothing. And onwards to another favorite of mine. I think this is also a great showcase for car, and a lot of people will probably remember the silver coins on this track being particularly difficult. They're very well hidden and they're very hard to get all of them and win with. But there's a lot of switching the direction that you are drifting in, which can be very tricky. And there's a lot of trying to maximize your speed around all these corners. I love this turn here, going all the way out to the wide end of the curve and grabbing that blue balloon, boosting up the hill into the bouncy forest. Great track design. DKR is just, man, there's not a bad track in this game. There's ones I like more than others, but they're all just incredible.
Whew. Okay, so we got the blue balloon all 3 laps, which is really nice.
That was beautiful.
If we had the music off, this would be a lagless zipper.
So yeah, that's
Greenwood
another
Village
one.
is one of the hard ones.
Yeah, if you have music off while you're doing this, which Trident usually would have here, this cutscene skip is like borderline impossible if you don't get it on the first try. There's actually so little lag here that you have a lot of frames to work with, and you need to unpause and repause to buffer the cutscene skip really fast, which is very unnatural. This is the only track where this is really a thing. So yeah, it's a little bit more friendly with music off, but it's still a really fast one.
Now, when we get to the end of this track here with the coins, the CPUs will be hovering around the finish line, and they'll be generating just a little bit of lag, making it a little bit easier than the first one. But yeah, generally it's one of the tough ones. Alright, so I need to get this one in the tunnel here, and I also need to get one in the other tunnel. There's many tunnels.
It's like a DKR staple.
Go for it.
Very nice. That can be kind of tough if you don't know how to approach that bump there. There we go. Just as I was saying, a little bit easier with the CPUs in the way.
And look at that, we're already done. Dragon Force is done. One pass. We did it all in one go.
That was quite quick.
Gonna go pay Smokey a visit again, and we'll actually be done here. All done with Dragon Force.
If you can beat me again, I'll give you a special prize.
The Smokey out of bounds clip is a really weird one. There's a lot of different ways to clip out of bounds in this game, but this one in particular is like not understood at all. It doesn't make any sense why this works, but it does, and it saves us a lot of time, so it's kind of hard to complain about. And we're gonna get through there nice and pretty this time. Ooh, very nice. Oh, and the Trident Slingshot. So this game has a big old ceiling on top of everything, and colliding with that ceiling on top will actually slingshot the vehicle back downwards if you're not supposed to be there. It's like, hey, go back, get out of here, go down there. You're not supposed to be up here, get out of here. So what actually happened there is Trident was way, way above that ceiling, and he touched it, and it just sent him downwards. And so that's actually a ton of time save on this track, but it can actually be a very bad thing too. If you have too much speed, it will send you all the way into the floor, and you'll warp back to the starting line again, which has happened to Trident before.
I think the fine folks who put together the intro video, they took one of the clips of me doing that for the first time. All right, so Whizpig. You know, I actually like Whizpig. I really do.
Like, as a person?
No.
He's kind of a jerk, isn't he?
He's kind of a jerk. I like this race though.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think that's a common.
I don't think it is. It's a tough race too. It's tricky.
It's tricky, but it's one of those like really satisfying races when you do it well or when like the planets align. I'm not anticipating that will happen here, but it happens every once in a while.
I always
cool.
mislead myself when I get to this point in the run. I'm like, I'm almost done. It's almost over. It's like, no, there's a lot left, buddy.
Yeah, we still got a whole nother world, Future Funland, and I already kind of set it up as being this
terrifying nightmare.
Yeah.
Which it kind of is. Oh well, that was still pretty sick.
Not going to be one of those times. We'll try and get a better lap next time. What you want to do is you kind of want to approach that that slope with while trying to maintain as much speed as you can. You want to sail over to the other zipper and then you fly.
Ooh. Yeah, seeing watching the world record for this track is crazy. TT just flies all over the track. It's really fun.
I feel like it misses a zipper too.
I think it does. And this, I don't know. In your opinion, is this faster with music on? Because I always felt like it is.
I find that that jump there to be more. I find it to be more consistent with the music on, but music off is definitely faster. But I don't really. You have to adjust the way you approach it slightly, and
right.
I haven't figured it out. But I don't turn off the music during that point in 100%. So
right, yeah,
it's not a big deal for me.
Gotta do it on. So we just did our last console reset for the whole run. We will not have to do any of this menuing ever again. And that reset is actually kind of weird. In all the other boss races, when you cross the finish line, you can reset. It's saved that you beat it. You're done. but in this WizPig 1 race, you actually have to wait until the "Hey, you beat WizPig" cutscene plays. If you do it before then, it will not say that you beat the boss. So that's a common mistake for newer 100% runners to make if they don't know that going in. This is the best cutscene in N64 history. Just want to put that out there. I don't think there's any other piece of art that turns this lighthouse into a rocket ship, and it does this.
All right, so the first track up on the docket is Spacecus Alley. What many would consider the toughest track in the game, probably.
I think it's definitely the least forgiving. Naturally, we're in plane. There is a lot of funky geometry on this track, and there is a lot of very complicated maneuvering around that geometry that we have to do to go fast. Lots of stuff to bonk on. There's a spaceship trying to shoot you down. There's big space meatballs trying to get in your way. And we also have to deal with the CPU. There's trees up here too. I don't know how that works. I'm not even going to ask Rareware about that one. But yeah, it's also a really fun track. Once you have mastered this track, it is very, very fast, very, very technical, and really satisfying to watch.
I didn't even see Conquer there. Okay. Come on, Zipper.
Ugh, yeah.
All right, we're just gonna
Cruise.
cruise. I could have played it a little
Risque.
a little more risky, but eh. Oh, thank goodness.
Okay.
This cutscene skip has really been
Heart
a
palpitations.
thorn in my side.
All right, so we just did another restart there, and this is always possible. Future Funland is always like this. Dragon Forest was a special case because we got really lucky, but in this case, getting to this point in the run, you are always able to restart and do the silver coin race right away. The catch is, missing the cutscene skip will actually lose you around 12 seconds. In previous tracks, it loses us about 6. But when at the end of the game here, it's double time, and we're going to be losing a lot if we miss those cutscene skips. So it's actually really nerve-wracking to know that you're going to have to perform a frame-perfect trick to keep yourself from losing a possible total of 48 seconds over the course of this world. And not that I've ever been on world record pace in Hundo before, but Trident certainly has, and I honestly can't fathom what that feeling is like.
Okay. I couldn't see.
A spaceship got in your way there.
All right, I need to beat Diddy to the balloon there. There we
Yes.
go. Oh,
I don't think we've mentioned either. TT the Clock is completely overpowered. That's why we're playing as him. You unlock him by beating other time trials in the game, and he's cracked. He is seriously so much faster than every other character. It's really not even funny.
all right, we got a good start to Future Funland. It's always nice having Spacecus Alley out of the way. This is another track where I wish that the music was off, because this is also a laggy mess.
One thing we haven't mentioned yet is when we're going through these big loop-de-loops, we're actually holding right on the joystick. For whatever reason, it is way faster to grind up against the edge of the loop-de-loop. It has been proven, and it's a really simple little way to go faster. So if you're having a hard time beating TT in time trials on this one, highly recommend.
Yeah, I don't know what the reason is, but I imagine it's the same reason why we hug the wall in Crescent Island after getting the key. There's also a strat that people do on Snowball Valley time trials where they kind of brush up against the wall, and that's a nicely placed oil slick right there.
Dang.
Something about like walls in this game, like just I don't know, but I imagine that's probably the same reason why we hug the wall. Okay, that's twice now I've lost my balloon to that stupid turn.
Yeah, that big turn's really hard, but it basically requires that we tap B a couple times to do very, very quick turns, and if your wheels are not completely on the ground when you're tapping B, you're not going to perform that quick turn. So there's a lot of times where we'll just be like frantically trying to turn, and then you'll turn too much, or you won't turn, and then suddenly you lost your blue balloon, and everything's a mess. We got the restart again. Way to go.
That's a bit better of a turn. That's fine. I really need to get that coin. This is one of the few levels where if you were to miss those coins in front of the loops all 3 laps, then you have to restart the race because you can't go backwards through the loops. So getting that coin first lap that's fine. It's one less thing I have to worry about.
Yeah, definitely. And I have seen it in runs before. It's a very, very sad occurrence.
Yeah. This is a really long race. One of the longest ones in the game. Coins, I mean, average, we're talking like a minute and 40 seconds. So imagine doing essentially 3 laps of this, and then having to restart. Also, the drift is not working.
And there's all our coins, so we're safe. We don't have to restart.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay, wow.
Oh,
I got hit
That's a
with
tough
a ton of lag there because
yeah. I can feel it.
my buffer didn't respond, but that's okay. All right, that's number 3.
Oh wait, you're leaving. Oh, that's right. Well,
We didn't finish Dino Trophy, right?
yeah. We forgot to do Dino Trophy. No.
Trophy race.
Future Funland also has a trophy, and it's required we get it for this to be a 100% run. We have to do it. So yeah, we're going to come back to Dino one more time. These tracks, again, much shorter than the Future Funland tracks, so we're going to save ourselves a lot of time by coming back and doing these.
Yeah, new runners will actually, it's very common for new runners to forget the Future Funland trophy because they don't, when they first start out, they're not typically doing this wrong warp route where they're doing the trophy storage over and over again. And after you complete all the races in Future Funland, it automatically shoots you into the the final Whizpig race. So they just, they get overzealous and they finish the run and they're like, hey, I finished my first run. And then it's like, you have to decline it because it's not 100%. You didn't get the Future Funland trophy. But that's not a problem here because we're doing it right now with another trophy storage. So
The last
make sure that
trophy
we-
storage.
completed everything.
And there is actually opportunity here for really big time save. Again, based on RNG. If we can get the overworld wrong warp, which is again like 12%, we are going to save a lot of time because we won't have to turn around and leave Dragon Forest. It's often a very nice pleasantry to have at the very end of a 100% run to get overworld. I can't remember what perfect RNG is. I think it's Overworld, Overworld.
Dragon Plane Overworld.
Dragon Plane Overworld.
Yeah.
So yeah. Whatever that comes out to. A very, very low percentage.
Yeah, it's never happened, I can tell you that for sure. The most that I've seen is 3 12.5% chance warps. Yeah, I think like 2 Dragon Planes and a Overworld I've seen. Maybe a handful of times, 3 or 4 times maybe. So that's very rare. And then to think about getting another 12.5% chance warp on top of that.
Yeah, it's like 0.0002% chance. That's absurd.
So we already got pretty good RNG, so I'm not really expecting the world here. And yeah, we're going to get the typical. It's no big deal. So now we go back to Future Funland.
We get to see another out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
Not the final out of bounds. So I almost said the final out of bounds, and I was like, wait a
Foreshadowing. So yes, this track does have an out of bounds. It is Japanese exclusive.
Yes, and it's kind of a funny out of bounds. There's all these interesting methods for getting out of bounds on a lot of these tracks, but they just forgot to put a texture there. they just didn't put it in. So anybody playing this on the Japanese version when the game came out, anyone could do this. It's totally free. It's fixed in later versions, however, on the US version, on the US release, and on the 1.1 release. So you do need the Japanese version to do this out of bounds. And luckily, all the other fun wrong warps and skips come with that. So very convenient for us.
Mm-hmm.
Alas, our final trophy has found its home once again in Dino Domain.
We're actually going to do this track 2 more times. So we did that to get our trophy because it's the fastest race in this world. But now we need to get our gold balloon, and then we have to do our coin race after that. So I mean, it all depends on whether I get the restart. So not 100%, but ideally that's what would happen.
Yeah, for me, this is where the run really kind of comes to a grind, I think. I've already mentioned, I think, finishing Whizpig always makes me feel like I'm almost done with the run. And then you get through Space Dust, you get through Dark Moon, you get through a 5th Dino Domain trophy, and then you have to do this track 3 times in a row. And I think that's when I really start to feel it. I don't know about you. I don't know if you feel it at all. You have to tell me sometime. When we're not spiraling through the depths of space.
Oh, that's another cutscene skip that's been giving me problems.
I thought you were going to hit the ceiling there. That was
I did
scary.
too, actually, yeah. When you're re-entering the track and you're barrel rolling, sometimes you can get flung in all different directions, so you have to be careful. I'm going to play it safe here, because my line is not great.
Good idea. So this is another example of a track, an out-of-bounds track with coins, where we're going to get the other coins later. We're going to come back in bounds and get those. So yeah, again, this is for the same reason Trident mentioned earlier. We just want to spend as much time out of bounds as we can. You can see this track is pretty interesting too, because the out of bounds route is quite literally, it's just a triangle. It's very, very easy to follow, pretty easy one to learn. And since it's just a missing texture, it's actually very easy to execute, and it's a good beginner out of bounds, aside from Hot Tub Volcano, to kind of get the hang of what's going on. It has a very, very low floor. You can actually get crazy down there. So it's very forgiving, too, for learning how to navigate the out of bounds. We are on our last track of this gigantic 100% journey, everybody. This is it. We've got 2 more races, both of them in Star City, and this is a great track. This is so cool. Super well designed. Love going through the city portion. All the colors mesh really nicely together. They put a lot of work into this one, you can just tell.
I actually had the world record on this track for a spell, but then Sweener Dog came and stole it from me. I'm not bitter at all.
It helps when I play ATR. I play this track a lot, so...
Oh, okay, Pipsy's having a bad time there.
Oh no, Pipsy. It'd be a shame if you didn't finish the race. Ooh, Diddy.
This is pretty good. You know, we got a little interference from the CPUs, but this is pretty good.
I think this is one of the harder tracks for newer players as well, because it's all 90-degree angles. It's very, very hard to navigate. Once you learn how to use the power of the B button and the drift, though, it's easy pickings. The game just has incredible mechanics. It's very, very fun to just kind of fling TT around the track and see what works, see what doesn't, learn from your mistakes. You can use both the R button for drifting, the A button and the B button to control the angle at which we're turning, how sharply we're turning. Just so many tools at our disposal for maximum fast.
How did I knock out the coin there? Okay.
I have no idea. Ooh, great turn. And we are getting through with no bridge incidents. It's kind of another infamous thing that can happen here, is you'll just send yourself flying off the bridge in Star City. Loses quite a bit of time. But not today. And alas, 38 out of 40 cutscene skips?
37.
37.
Yeah, we missed 3.
That's right, Darkened Caverns. Wow.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's insanely good.
My average is about 35, 36, so we're a little over average.
And alas, we have completely 100% of the game. All the trophies, all the TT amulets, all the Whizpig, or the TT amulet, the Whizpig amulet, 47 golden balloons, and it all comes down to this final race with Whizpig. So at the end of this race is going to be time.
But of course we have one more trick that we have to do.
And of course, it's at the end of the run. Wow, there we go. One last out of bounds. Spiral TT through the endless plains of darkness and rainbow storm. And show Whizpig what for.
I can't see.
Yeah, this is the worst.
I can't see.
There we go. That was wacky, man. Oof. So scary. Time is coming up.
And time.
That is a
Tricky
spicy
stole
run.
my 146, but that's okay.
Dang old Tricky, I tell you what.
Well, that was a great run, honestly. Had some bad RNG, had some good RNG. But overall, that was pretty good.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me on Trident. This is always fun to commentate Hundo runs, hang out, and play some DKR.
I always have to rope in Sweener whenever I'm doing one of these showcases because he's just the best.
Right back at you.
So that is going to conclude DKR Showcase. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you're interested at all in getting into this game, we've got tons of resources that are out there to get you on your way. You can start by going to speedrun.com/DKR. There's a link to our Discord page, and you can join the Discord, and believe me when I say that everyone is super helpful in there. So please feel free to get in contact with any of us if you are interested in running this game. Other than that, thank you so much again to Sweener for once again helping me out with another showcase. He's just so knowledgeable about the game, and he really takes the pressure off of me so that I can try and do the best run for you guys. Yeah, other than that, I think that's it for me. Sweener, what do you got to say?
Yeah, thanks for having me again, man. I really had a great time. Thank you very, very much for hosting this event. I had a really, really fun time. Yeah, that's all I got, I think.
Yeah, thank you so much to TGS and everybody behind the scenes. I got to see a little bit of like the work that they were doing all week, and they were working hard to put on this great event. So make sure you stay on top of what they're doing, because they're working really hard and trying to put on some good shows for you. So thanks so much for having me again. I hope you really enjoyed the run, and yeah, I'll catch you next time, I guess.